What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Ron Harris here, and we're coming up on the Prague Pro 2-day show. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday. I want to take a look at some of the current update athletes, the most recent updates they've posted, then talk a little bit about Nick Walker. Where does he go from here? Because it does seem like he's parting ways with Kyle Wilkes, the gentleman that coached him for Pittsburgh Pro, runner-up, very close runner-up, New York Pro win this year, and then sixth place at the Olympia, and that seems to be the last show that they're going to do together. So, what's up, your mom's flip flop? Let's take a look first. Samson hasn't posted anything since a couple days ago. That's just him doing some curls on the incline bench there. But we did see this update. These updates from earlier in the week. He has got the majority of his size back, or I should say fullness. I still think he lost a little bit of muscle tissue, and that's going to take him more than just 2 weeks between a contest and another contest to regain all that. However, this is still a very, very deadly look, assuming he gets rid of the water, which I believe he will, because anybody who's pounding food and water for 2 weeks to try to regain that lost pop, fullness, and size that they had, they're going to be holding a good amount of water. They'll get rid of that. I'm pretty confident. And then we'll get this 300-pound version of Samson. Samson did say in a recent video that 300 pounds is his benchmark now. He's not going to go on stage at less than 300. 280 at the Olympia, the Mr. Olympia, which was judged 2 weeks ago tonight. It's been 2 weeks now, guys. That was the last time he will ever come in that light. He chased condition, him and his wife/coach, Marlena. It did not work out as planned. And unfortunately, he dropped all the way down to fourth. I shouldn't say all the way, because Rami dropped all the way from first to fifth between 21 and the 2022 shows. So it wasn't as precipitous a drop, but still not what he was wanting, not what he was expecting. I do see him as the heavy favorite for this. However, let's look at some of the other guys. Other guys are looking really good too. So Keon also went on record saying he's not going to play the size game. He knows he's not going to be as big as Samson Dauda. That's, he's still a good 80 pounds away from that, give or take. But this is a gym in Prague, Czech Republic. He's already over there. He's looking fantastic. Pretty much just a slightly fuller version of what we saw at the Olympia, which I don't think he was off at the Olympia. Not really. I thought there were two shots. Did he take one? There we go. There's that front double. That is a beautiful shot for Keon, man. Keon is just, it's going to be interesting to see because, on one hand we say, well, he's so much shorter than Samson, but you know what? So's Derek, so's Hadi, and they just beat him pretty handily at the Olympia. He's going to be giving up a lot of weight in terms of body weight, but what does Hadi weigh? What does Derek weigh? Probably like around between 230 and 240 would be my best guess. And they beat him. So to say that it can't be done. Big Mike Cox, my man. Can you imagine if the Patriots fired Bill Belichick after he lost one Super Bowl? Just talk about Nick Walker letting Kyle Wilkes go. Now, that hasn't officially been stated. However, guys like Ivan's Bodybuilding, they did note that it only takes a few clicks to do this research, but they don't follow each other. They suddenly stopped following each other on Instagram, which that's never a good sign. That's kind of like I don't like you anymore. You're not my friend anymore. I'm not saying that they hate each other or anything. It's a very clear sign that something's going on. He's probably going to let Kyle go, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Can you imagine? His next coach has one shot. Speaking for the Arnold, yeah, Nick has stated he will be doing the Arnold Classic. He'll be going for a second Arnold. What's up, Ron? Dale from Wales again. Dale from Wales. Martin, I'm impressed with so far. We'll look at him next. Samson, Martin, Keon. I think that's a very, very likely top three. Thank you, Smoke Dog. Keon has to keep that tummy in check. Well, the thing is some guy was arguing with me, not arguing, but saying that big gap between his abs that Keon has, and we know this, we're not making shit up. He says it can be fixed through a few different ways, and I don't know if that's possible. But geez, does he really even have to? It's one minor flaw in his physique. Ronnie had that gap too, not as pronounced, but he had that gap between the two rows of abs, left to right. I mean, I don't think that's going to be the difference between him winning the show or not winning the show. He's got to get past Sampson. He's got to get past Martin. But let's take a look at Martin. Martin has posted some updates that look like he is really pushing for condition. Tell me what you think when you see these. So these are some very artsy shots posted 4 hours ago. Looks like he's hitting his favorite classic pose here. Very streamlined. The waist looks really small and flat. He's looking a little flat right now in my eyes. But we'll see. We'll see what tomorrow brings, right? Well, I swear there were 2 pictures there. Yeah. Weren't there 2 pictures here? Come on, Ron. You can do this. You've done this before. No? All right. So, meet and greet. He's at the expo. There's another good shot. I mean, look at that waist on Martin. Great, great. Shape, structure. Oh, there we go. It was 3 days ago. Crazy legs on Martin Fitzwater. Also earlier in the week. This is earlier in the week, 5 days ago. Yeah. And that was obviously the Olympia. Fantastic job getting 4th place again at the Olympia. 2 years in a row. Oh, I'm sorry. 5th place. He was 4th last year. Giles's comment there reminded me that he was 4th place. That he should have gotten 4th, but he did get 5th place. Samson Dauda was 4th place this year at the Olympia, which I just said literally like 2 minutes ago. But, you know, I'm down to 3 brain cells, guys, so bear with me. I can't say I've been working hard in office all week. That's not my excuse. But Martin, man, this was posted on Sunday. That's a shot from, I'm not really sure when that was. This was multiple pictures. I don't know why I can't show you the other pictures. It looks like there should be multiple pictures there. Anyway, let's look at Krizo. Krizo hasn't really posted updates per se. Here he's just sort of giving thanks to the physiotherapy guys who have been working with him, because he continues to have shoulder mobility problems, even though he had that shoulder surgery. This was going back to 2022 Prague show. That was his first pro win. This is actually a post Real OG Bodybuilding TV. Is that Chris Cormier's channel? I don't know. Giles, it's Giles's voice. I'll let it go there for
his first pro show and his pro debut, and now he's going to the Olympia.
But congratulations to Jan Turek.
Yeah, he looked. I mean, this is his. I don't think he's ever been higher than 5th or 6th.
I know that's not Krizo. That's Jan Turek, but Krizo's coming, guys. Krizo wouldn't post all that on his own page if he's not in it, I'm sure, right? So let's take a look here. But that's Giles's comment.
I mean,
I want to hear the
I'm guessing.
The winner
is Chris. Yes! Fantastic.
Yeah, that was his first pro win. So he's come a long way since then. That was 3 years ago. His first pro win was right here at the EVLS Prague Pro in Czech Republic. He would love to win it again. I don't know if that's in the cards for him this time. Can he beat Sampson? Can he beat Martin? He's never beaten either one of them before. Sampson's a Mr. Olympia champ. He's an Arnold Classic champ. I don't see Krizo beating them or even Martin, honestly, at this show. But it's going to be a battle. If he could beat Keon, who's an incredible, incredible athlete, that would be a great feather in his cap. Krizo. Yeah, I like Krizo's physique a lot. It does have some issues. The obliques are a little overdeveloped there. You can see how they're bulging out on the side. And his back shots, particularly his radial bicep, which you're not seeing here, but he has trouble hitting that shot, mainly because of a lack of shoulder mobility. Let me get to some of your questions, guys. Let's see. Can't package stop following each other. Yeah. Did Patrick, I don't know if it's been announced. I can't. People tell me things in confidence, and I swear myself to secrecy. So I heard whatever you're alluding to. I heard about over a week before the Olympia, but I've been very good about keeping my secret, because if you tell someone you're not going to post or say anything to anyone and then you do, well, they're not going to tell you anything ever again. So, yeah, Keon and Patrick. It's very possible. Let's just put it that way. It's very possible that Patrick's not coaching Keon, and Keon might be doing this show all on his own without a coach. Saying he can beat Samson. I mean, Keon, yeah, the flaw isn't minor. I don't think the difference between Keon winning or losing or beating or not beating Samson is going to come down to a gap in his abs. Martin is diced. Yeah, the artsy poses. I agree with you. Mike. I don't know what he's thinking there. I'll put up Krizo from New York Pro earlier in the year. Where did I put that? Krizo. It's a problem with having a lot of things taped. Sometimes it takes you a while to find them. Well, this isn't bad. This is pretty good. This is pretty good footage of Krizo here from New York Pro. All right, let's go back to you got your comments, questions, comments. What's your opinion on Derek's apparently almost dying backstage? He was a dangerous coach. I mean, unless we know exactly what happened, if it was due to diuretics and overzealousness with diuretics, yeah, I guess you could sort of point the finger of blame at the coach. I mean, the athlete's the one who did it knowing full well what the risks were, but I don't know. We just know that he almost passed out and he was being forced to drink water backstage. I don't know if he almost died. See, there you go with Krizo. See there, he can't rotate his shoulders forward. I'll show you what I mean in a second when I click out of that. But shoulder mobility, you really need to be able to move your shoulders in all directions with a good range of motion just to hit poses. It's not even about just, obviously you want to be able to train correctly and everything, but if you have a real issue, a lack of shoulder mobility, there's some poses you won't even be able to hit. Like a lot of people won't even be able to hit a front lat spread, a side tricep if their shoulders are that messed up. And the rear double, you're going to have a lot of issues. So what I mean by external rotation, so here you can see it sideways. So the further back behind your head, that's external rotation. Internal rotation is in front of your head. I still don't have a lot of external rotation. But if it's over here and you're hitting your rear double bicep, you're watching, can you see? I'm going to move myself a little more. If your shoulders rotated inward, internal rotation toward the front of your body, you can't show your full biceps. You can't even show your full delt. You need to be able to crank it back. I actually can do it. My range of motion with this arm is a lot better. I can get further back. So Michael has an issue with that. It doesn't look like a normal gap, but more so the ab split away from the ab wall, so it makes it appear a bit unappealing. Let's look at some other guys, because these aren't the only guys in the show. They are the big names. I understand. Maybe we'll come back to that. I do want to check out Ruffin, though, because Ruffin is by far the heavy favorite for the classic title at this show. Where did I put Rough Diesel? Rough Diesel, there he is. He's going against Michael Abdullah. Michael is very good. He's no slouch, but Rough Diesel is just on a little bit higher level. What's this? Oh, this is his reel from Brazil. Show day in Brazil. He's got the full video on YouTube. I don't know why he's showing all the training stuff. Yeah, there's a good shot. That's a really good shot. Yeah, Ruffin is doing that. Let's just get through that, and then we'll probably start talking about Nick. Good day from Romania. What's up, Ben? So you guys got a pro show coming up. How many weeks between those two shows? Oh, it's just 2 weeks. So Prague is tomorrow and Sunday, October 26th, 27th. Poland Pro is Saturday, November 1st, and Romania Muscle Fest big show is November 8th, and that is going to feature Andrew Jacked. So a lot of eyes on that show that day. I think it's a good idea. Nick is switching coaches. I'll tell you your mom's flip-flop. I know you're only a young guy, so it's not good to keep switching coaches. Simple fact that it often takes any coach, even the very best of coaches, a few shows to figure out the client's body, how they respond to certain types of PEDs, gear, and yeah, I said gear, peptides, food, especially different types of foods, fluid intake, sodium, the whole peaking process. It takes a while to get it right. So if a coach and an athlete nail it perfectly their first time together, that's a rarity. That's awesome, but it's really more luck, because there are things that you learn in every prep with an athlete from show to show. And that's why they tend to get better and better in terms of peaking a client every show, if they're taking notes every time and seeing, well, this worked out well when we added these carbs or took these carbs away, or when we did this with your sodium or your water, or when we introduced or took away this particular PED. So they take notes so that anything that doesn't have the desired effect is not repeated. And the things that are working, they'll do those again. Does Martin hit the Arnold? I think he will. I think he will, Mike. I mean, the money is just, it's crazy money for a bodybuilder. $750,000 for first prize. And I'm sure Andrew will be there, Hadi. I think Derek's the only one, because he has sort of hinted that he's done until next year's Olympia. I think it's going to be everyone but Derek, honestly. Martin's arms look very good now, yeah. Next section runs a whole package for me. If you're talking about Keon or Nick, if only Martin could fix his front lat spread. Krizo is so big. Here's seeing next to Samson. Yeah. In terms of sheer, height, width, all that stuff, he's right there with Samson. Samson has a prettier body. Krizo's got things that he doesn't have, like that crazy muscle separation. Go back to Krizo. He has really good separation detail in the arms, the shoulders, the chest, like just every little fiber. With Samson, not so much. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Krizo. I see some issues that are probably going to hold him back from beating the very, very top guys. 3 days out video up on YouTube. Yeah. I'm not going to go to YouTube. Good morning, Ryan, everybody. I hope everyone has a blessed day. Only reason I say that is because I want to keep it moving. If it was a video all about Krizo, Andrew Jack shows up the way he did at the Olympia 2 weeks ago because Hadi Chapman's return to Ohio. He's cashing in that big 50. Yeah, I mean, Hadi might jump into that, Arnold. He did it in 2024 and he won. And now there's even more money at stake. Yeah. And Krizo, I've never really seen him out of shape. He was obviously, when he had the shoulder surgery, it was the only time he looked like he went off gear for a little bit and he had a little softer, smaller look, but he wasn't training. He wasn't taking gear. So obviously he's not going to look the same. But I agree with you, Mike. I'm always a fan of seeing crazy detail, separation, those fibers, the muscle maturity, the old man muscle, because we don't see as much of that anymore. It's confirmed they weren't working together. I didn't want to say anything until it was confirmed or it was out in public. I don't know if we're talking about Nick, Patrick Tour and Keon, or Nick and Kyle Wilkes. Yeah, the Nick thing has not been confirmed, but it's one of those things where you can read between the lines, the writing's on the wall. Mike says, do you think these guys could peak themselves or they need a coach? They have the protocol. I'm sure they could have a few trusted people with them. I don't know why they couldn't do it themselves. I mean, I understand they're exhausted. They're having a lot of trouble sometimes being objective, looking in the mirror. But that's, like you said, that's why you have a couple people that you trust and have a good eye, and they can be your voice of reason. Because, left to our own devices, a lot of us will either go too far in one direction or the other. Either we'll think we're really flat and small and we'll just eat out of control to try to fill out and we'll spill over, or we'll say, shit, I'm still not lean enough, and you'll go crazy doing like 3 hours of cardio a day, 0 carbs, and you lose a bunch of muscle and you end up looking stringy and flat and smaller on stage. So, but if you have people with a good eye and you trust them and you listen to them when they say, you're looking really flat, or you're right on track, or you're behind, or whatever it is that they're gonna see, because they know what they're looking at, and as long as you're gonna listen to them, I don't see why that wouldn't be just as successful. Derek almost dying with that look. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was in danger of dying. There's plenty of medical professionals around. Not saying top 3, the best, most muscular side, chest, side, tricep. Even bodybuilding released video 35 minutes ago. He asked Patrick, and Patrick confirmed they are not working together anymore. Okay, so I guess the cat's out of the bag, as we say. So Keon is without a coach right now. He's going to dial himself in for the show. But from the looks of those videos, if this was the day before the show, I think he's all set. I don't think he needs to scramble and find someone to coach him for the last 2 days for the show. Keon is looking pretty damn fantastic right there. I mean, come on. Look at that. That's a hell of a physique right there. Interestingly, thanks to therapy, Krizo has better mobility in the operating arm than the other. Yeah, I mean, he probably had lost mobility in in both shoulders. It happens. I mean, arthritis, he's a young guy, but arthritis is something that will happen to just about all of us who train. Mine got so bad. I did one surgery back in 2011, which helped for a couple of years, but then things got progressively worse until this June 25th. I just had to have a full replacement of my left shoulder joint, and that was years of arthritis getting worse. So Krizo, he's not there yet. He's still a young guy. He's in his early 30s. So he can still improve that mobility to a point now. He doesn't have that crippling degree of advanced osteoarthritis that a lot of us, unfortunately, are gonna experience if we keep lifting and live long enough. Who you got winning the Prague show? Smoke Dog. I got Samson winning. The only way Samson doesn't win, in my book, in my estimation, is if he shows up really, really over carbed and watery looking. So this was a 280-pound version of Samson that we saw 2 weeks ago. Even this version, I think, would still it beat Martin. I think it would still beat Martin, Keon, and Krizo, but he's going to look better than this, assuming the condition doesn't suffer. And it wouldn't be a matter of body fat. I don't think him and Marlena are dumb. They're not dumb. They're not going to gain any body fat between shows. They know that nothing is guaranteed, and he lost the Olympia. He could lose. He lost the Arnold earlier this year. He lost the Olympia. He could lose this, even this. Martin's capable of beating him. They were close. They were very close. The scorecard might not have indicated how close they really were, but a lot of people thought Martin had a legitimate chance, or maybe even you could make a legitimate case for Martin beating Samson at this last Olympia. Yeah, his back was gone. These were comparison shots that Mark's Max Muscle did on his YouTube channel. That's 2024 Olympia to 2025 for Samson. So you're looking at a difference of 25 pounds there on the left, 300, 305 on the right. He did say 280, so it was a big, big drop in size. I do see the waistline came in, so I do like that, but he lost a lot of fullness. The two areas I saw it most pronounced in were his legs and his back. His back was definitely a lot smaller than we've seen it in the past. This is going to go to a side try. It's going to go into the back shot, but you can see even the tricep looks flatter there. But we're going to see something much closer to the version of Samson there on the left, which was the winning form. That's where he won Mr. Olympia with that look at 300 pounds. Yeah, you see there, look at the middle of the back. You see how the mid-back muscularity, it was thick on the left in 2024. On the right, it was just gone. It's like somebody just squashed it, flattened it out. So, yeah, the back shots, to me, that's where I saw the biggest decline in his physique from 2024 to 2025. But don't get me wrong, guys. I would never say that he's all done. Oh, Samson. It's just one show where they went a little overboard on I think they over-dieted. I think him and Marlena, they wanted to try bringing this condition that me and every other a-hole has been saying he needs. We were saying Samson doesn't get ripped, Samson this, Samson that. And in the end, they tried to give the judges and the fans and the media pundits, the critics, everything that we wanted in terms of condition. But I didn't see any more condition. I just saw a smaller version of the same physique. I don't know if he's even capable of getting into that really crazy, shredded, dry condition. I don't know if that's possible for him. If it's a thick skin issue, I don't know what it is, but he's just better off staying big. And that's why I agree 100% with Samson and what he said on his, I think it was on his Instagram, but I've seen it reposted a bunch of places where 300 pounds is where he's got to be. He can't be less than 300 pounds. If he does that, he can be beaten. Let's see. I'll agree with shouldn't switch coach. I'm not sure how long Nick was staying with his coach. I'm saying after a long time, the same one, new one. Yeah, I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if any day now or any hour now we see a post from Nick or Kyle, one or both of them, saying, we had a great run and no hard feelings, but we're going our separate ways. Nuclear stress test. Andrew Jackson, wasn't he like is he on the $5 bill? I think Alberto. We're watching Prague Updates, and we're going to start talking about Nick Walker in a second. He needs an ass. Oh, Samson needs more glutes. Yeah. Olympia Synthol sponsored. They do not low-key people with fibers. Yeah, I don't see a lot of detail anymore. He is posing that 3-day out video. Yeah. Every time I do that, you guys get mad because I don't have the YouTube premium. But all right, I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah, I very rarely go to YouTube live to show videos. Crizzo. Road to victory. No. 2 days ago. All right, what I'm doing now, guys, is looking for his newest video. My last back workout. I'm going to wait until he gets to the posing part. He's training. Okay. Full screen. All right, let's take a look, guys. Don't get mad if an ad pops up. All right, Crizzo, how are we looking? I mean, same Crizzo. Fantastic arms, shoulders, quads. The waist is thick. It's wide, guys. That is an issue. I mean, if he had a more narrow waist, he'd be a better bodybuilder. He doesn't have a bubble gut. It's not that it protrudes out like a turtle shell. In his case, it's a little width, which I believe he has added by developing those obliques. Those obliques are the muscles on the side. You see them hanging over there on the side? I don't know if those can be reduced at this point. They've been built up. He is hitting the rear double better. He's getting his arms rotated back better now than he was in the past. So that's a positive thing to see. Rear lat. Yeah, I'd like to see more thickness in that shot. Anything with the arms is a win for Michael. His arms are incredible. He's got some of the best arms in the game, bar none. Is he going to finish with a crab? Come on, give us a crab. Give us a crab. Video's almost over. You better hit the damn crab. That's a great shot for him, that clasp, Levroni muscular. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Yeah, he's freaking fantastic. He's fantastic. So, escape. All right, so we're back. Crizzo was good. Gavito with Synthol sponsored Olympia is a big bullshit. They do it themselves. They won't have anyone with themselves to blame. Simply won't take accountability. Nick Walker is reminding Rami when he was jumping from one coach bandwagon. So let's put Nick up while we're talking, shall we? Let's find you, Nick. There we go. So this is Nick at the last Olympia. All right, get to your comments. No, he didn't. Well, Rami's not being coached by anybody right now, Kalyan. He's retired, I believe. I don't think he's coming back. If you're pretty knowledgeable yourself, couldn't you coach yourself? Dorian did that. Sean Ray did that. Kevin Levrone did that. Dorian's pretty smart. Very few people, like John Jewett coaches himself, but he's a very renowned coach himself. He's got a whole coaching academy and a training academy. So someone like that, it makes sense. British body Mark Hector is not Patrick's new protege. Good. Mark's really good. Very close to 56. Went and got stem cells and peptides so far. Everything. Talk about the shoulder. Yeah. Martin was much better than Samson at the O. I had him winning, Mike. You had him winning. Giles had Martin beating him. The judges didn't see it that way. 2024 Samson at the O versus 2025 Andrew at the O. I think the 2024 Samson beats the 2025 Andrew. Yeah. Granted, that's the best Andrew we've ever seen. And Andrew is getting better. He's finally, after a couple of years where I was getting frustrated thinking this guy's he's not making improvements. I'm seeing Samson should have placed sixth. I mean, I'm not going to argue too much, but he will smoke Prague. That I'm not arguing that. I think he's very likely going to be the winner in Prague Sunday when it's all said and done. Wasn't Chris Tuttle Nick's options for Kyle? I don't know who he looked at or who he talked to before selling on Kyle Wilkes. Chris Tuttle obviously did a great job with Jordan Hutchinson this year. Took him to 2 pro wins and a top 10 at the Olympia. Yeah, he was top 10, wasn't he? So I think Tuttle would have been a great choice, and Tuttle has coached people at the Olympia level before. Kyle had not, but obviously every coach has to get started at the Olympia with at least one client and then build on it from there. But we'll talk about Nick. We're getting to Nick. I refuse to pay for YouTube Premium. Yeah, me too. I pay for enough crap. That picture of Keon looks nuts. Keon's still covering that gut. I mean, that's a smart thing to do. That's the smart thing to do. We'll find Keon while we're talking. If you have a flaw that you can draw attention away from, do so. You'd be an idiot to not try to draw attention away from a flaw. Sure, Keon, my team, we got to be skeptical of pictures. True, yeah. I mean, until we see them on stage next to each other, nothing matters. Nothing on Instagram matters. The stage is all that matters. Waist is thick. I think you're talking about Krizo. Ron, do you know Keon fired Patrick? Yeah, I knew it 3 weeks ago, but I was being good and keeping the secret like I was asked to. So it was Giles. Giles had talked to Patrick and told me, but he said, "Don't tell anyone." And in the past, I've violated the trust of people, and I've spread the gossip or the news. In most cases, it was new. It was a fact, but I just was not supposed to talk about it. But now I'm being better about that. But yeah, I knew that. Krizo looks like he's from another planet. Yeah, Planet Krizo. Seen Krizo in person. I remember me and Mike standing next to him at the 2023 Olympia at the Meet the Olympians when I was interviewing him, but just staying next to him. He's a big dude because he's I want to say 6'1". It's hard for guys like me and Mike to tell because we're well under 6 foot. Sponsor YouTube Premium every month. No, man, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for the offer. Krizo, very powerful physique, but a little bit straight up and down compared to Sam's Keon Fitz. Yeah, you talk about shape and structure. Krizo he's not on their level. Let's see. What can Nick do with physique? It's almost too big now. He needs to get back to where he was. We're going to go. You can coach yourself. Tricky part is learning how to peak yourself with turning stress out of the show. Yeah, stress makes you release cortisol, which makes you hold a bunch of water. Trying to go back to that 21 Arnold look. I'll show you his 22 Olympia look, which I thought was fantastic. That's my favorite look so far for Nick. Yeah. This was 2022 Olympia where he took third place behind Hadi and Derek. And to me, that's his best look so far. Ivan's latest video said Nick and Tuttle are teaming up. Oh, that's awesome. Nick is too far gone from that. Okay, I don't know if that's been announced. I don't know how Ivan found out, but good for him. I think Tuttle would be an excellent coach for him. So who does Keon go to? Same for Nick. I mean, any top coach would take them. So I guess Nick is going to go to Tuttle is the rumor going around. As far as Keon, he could go to Aceto. He could go to, Boss of Outlaw. There's so many guys he could go to. Thank you. He holds an MS in nutrition. He is RD2. Yeah. John Jewett, former 212, now Open Pro, is one of the most knowledgeable guys in the industry. And definitely, if we're talking about competitors, he's one of the most knowledgeable competitors. Thank you for the $40 rupees. My bad. Quick off-top question. We're going to do John question live again. Well, if I'm done with talking about Nick, eventually I can do that. The problem is when I do the general ones, the views they're crap. So I need views. Gossip becomes a gospel if you disseminate it amongst the masses. Oh, these rumors, they go fast. I don't think Nick needs to go back to 2021 look. He nearly beat Derek at Pittsburgh. I think they just had a peaking issue. I don't think it was a peaking issue, and I'm going to get into that in a second. Dudes, never dull moment in the sport. I love Nick's 2022 Olympia look. We had trouble opening up that back lat spread. So let's take a look at Nick. All right, so Mark Max Muscle did some more comparisons, and this showed his progression for all 3 New York Pro wins, which was 2021, 24, and 25. So these will show you how Nick has changed over these past 4 years. 2021, which obviously the Arnold was just 2 months before that, 3 months before that. I don't see a huge change in them. The midsection has gotten thicker. I think the biggest change in the midsection actually happened. This is actually a progression there. The biggest increase in his midsection, to me, happened between New York Pro and the Olympia this year. One more of those. Here's another one he did with the front double bicep. Yeah. So here's the progression. Now the waist hasn't gotten really wider like I said it did with Krizo. So it's a different issue. It's more of like a bubble gut that he's getting. This is another progression that he's going to make here. I think he's going to go forward in time. This is Mark's max muscle. 21, 24, 25. Put 2000 before each of those. 2021, 2021. And then he goes back and forth. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. I never reposted that picture. I thought that's cruel because everybody's pushing out their abs in the rear double because no one can see it. But somebody who was on the side caught that picture and took a very unflattering picture. Now, granted, most, if not all, these guys, if they really push out their gut, it's a lot bigger than you think it is. The issue is controlling the abdominals. Not the abdominals, the whole midsection, breathing high, never letting it stick out. Nick has an issue with not being careful about that. Let's see, let me show you. So Gilko posted some pictures of him. And I said this before, but I'm surprised he didn't ask them to take a couple of these down because they caught him between poses and it's not a great look for him. Takes a minute to load. There's a bunch of pictures here. Where is it, Nick? No, that's not it. So it's really an issue of just keeping it sucked in as often as you can, all the time, because anytime you're on that stage, people are looking at you. Okay, here we go. So that picture, that looks fine. That looks good. I need to make that smaller. There we go. Okay, so that's what I'll do. So there, I mean, there's just like there's no taper there in that front double. I mean, obviously this is off a little bit off at an angle. It's not dead on front, but still, you could see how much thicker that midsection. And I believe a lot of this, I hate to say damage, but a lot of what you see with the midsection, to me, happened between these two shows. The last show that he won, the New York Pro back in May, and the Olympia in October. He did say that he gained 10 pounds of new muscle. Well, it might have been a couple pounds of muscle, but a lot of it seems to have gone to the midsection because it was not that thick before. It wasn't. I mean, when he has his hands in front, you can't see. The back shots are phenomenal with Nick. I'm not going to talk about that one. He's walking across stage. You can see it popping out a little bit there. He lets it hang. He's not conscious of it all the time. And you'd think with people being such assholes like me, constantly drawing attention to it. I mean, he is a mutant. He's got so much muscle mass. That's the thing, is I don't think it's a peaking issue. I thought he peaked very well for this Olympia. Does he look like he's out of shape to you? Really? I know he looked better Saturday than he did Sunday. I'm sorry, Saturday than he did Friday. But still, yeah, these are the finals, I believe, these shots. But yeah, I mean, look at how thick that is. Sorry. I just can't get over that. I mean, that's something that can be reversed because Rolly Winkler had he showed up at I think it was a 2018 Olympia with a midsection that was much thicker and chunkier and blockier than we'd ever seen before. And he got a lot of shit for it, but then he came back the next year and it was a lot smaller. Oh, I was never even showing it, dumbass. All right. Wrong Harris. All right, well, there you go. Now it's there. So half the comments are like, we can't see anything, I'm sure. Let's see. Abs are deeper in 21. The abs, they did look a little better. Yeah, Nick's legs got smaller. So let's go back to that. I don't think his legs got smaller. I think they stayed exactly the same and his upper body got bigger. So this is 2021, 24, and 25 there. I don't see any difference in the legs at all. Arms everything got a little bit bigger up top. You can see up top because he was about 270 or 275 at this last Olympia. And I think back in 2021, when he won the New York Pro and he won the Arnold that year too. That was a great year for him. Probably like 255. He was definitely nowhere near as heavy as he was now. Cristal also holds a master's degree in sports nutrition. Oh yeah, I knew that about. I've known that about Tuttle for a long time. I mean, I remember when I used to go down to the Powerhouse Gym in New Haven to shoot training videos with Evan Senapani, and Tuttle was his training partner in a few of those videos. And I didn't know at the time how well educated, but Chris was. I think he had just finished getting his registered dietitian credentials or license or whatever it's called. His early physique was crazy. Any views on the recent videos with the comparison of the 90s athlete and the ones like Derek, Nick, and High today? Yeah, I think people are looking at. I saw one with Flex Wheeler and Derek Lunsford, and I got into a little tiff with someone on there, a guy Lorenzo that I knew from the MD boards, because he's saying, well, Derek's way better than Flex Wheeler ever was because Derek is bigger pound for pound, in terms of how his height and weight, and he's got his glutes are in. I'm like, yeah, those are two issues, but if you're looking at the big picture, overall shape, structure, all those things, detail. I mean, Derek's lacking detail. He's got great detail in his back and his glutes and his hams, but from the front, he's nowhere near as detailed, especially the chest, the shoulders, and the arms. Flex had great detail in there. More protruding and widening midsection. Yeah, and I think this is something that can be fixed. He needs to downsize a little bit. Take care of his gut health if that might be an issue. Might be some inflammation going on in there, causing things to be thicker and more inflamed and swollen than they should be inside that whole midsection. Like again, we've seen Rolly, and I'm sure there's other people that have reversed a sudden increase in their midsections girth. So it can be done. It looks like that in the back double. Yeah, I made a point of saying that, but not everyone looks this. This is really bad, guys. Come on. You have to have a pretty big gut for it to pop out that much. It wasn't like that before. I guarantee you, if you took that same picture of him from the same angle 3-4 years ago, I guarantee you his belly would not be sticking out anywhere near that as much as it is right there. I'm not a Nick hater. I like Nick. I want the best for him. I respect and admire all these guys because they work there. It's a very, very difficult sport with financial rewards that are nowhere near on par of other more mainstream professional sports. Fuad even said that. Yeah, I said it too, yo, Mom. I said everyone's gut pops out, but not that much. Not everyone's gut pops out that much. I mean, do you think Andrew Jack's gut pops out like that in his right elbow bicep, even if you catch him from the side? No, come on. I'm not shitting on Nick, guys. I'm just pointing out something that is, if it continues, he's not going to be winning the shows like he was before. He's not going to win another Arnold. He's never going to win an Olympia. But if he can manage to get that midsection down, under control, and a little bit smaller and flatter, yeah, he's still one of the best in the world. I mean, he did almost beat Derek earlier in the season. And I think it was the slight off season that followed the New York Pro is where the damage was done. It's where he suddenly put on 10 pounds of new muscle. You don't put on 10 pounds of new muscle, someone who's already that big, without it going to your midsection, at least a good portion of it. The magazines are, yeah, see, Mike's got a good point there. In the old days, we only saw curated photos. The magazines, the photographers, they would take thousands of pictures at a show, let's say hundreds, maybe thousands, and they would pick out the 20, 25 best pictures for the Olympia coverage or the Arnold coverage. You never saw, if they saw something that was really unflattering to an athlete, they would never publish it back in the old days. But now you got everybody up there with their phones, take pictures from every angle. There's no hiding from these guys. No, I miss the magazines more than you do. Trust me. I miss the money I used to make writing for magazines. It was good money. Nick definitely improved Saturday. Yeah. I was a bodybuilder. Everybody knows is GH increased GH, but when the muscle not grow more, the organs still growing. Yeah, GH and insulin have long been not hailed. They're hailed for helping you take your muscle mass to greater limits, pushing past that envelope, but they've also done a hell of a number on increasing midsection size. Nick kept saying it was a peaking issue. Yeah, I mean, it's that's the issue. Is I don't see it as a peaking issue. If it was a peaking issue, he would have moved up from 6th place the second day, and he didn't. Nothing changed. Joe Eater, Bob, their magazine posts were real smart back then. They picked the best of the best ones, no pictures. Yeah, because they were real fans. They loved the sport. They held no animosity toward the athletes. Where a lot of the people with Instagram bodybuilding accounts now, a lot of the so-called fans, they really don't like the bodybuilders. They don't love them. They don't even like them, and they will find the most unflattering pictures and look for the worst gossip and just keep it negative. A lot of the media outlets out there, not all of them, obviously. Get it together. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. You like my Team Lunsford shirt, though? I prefer to use GH in off season. Okay. His waist in New York Pro 2012 was worse than Olympia, but no one is talking about it. You think so? I didn't think it was worse. Huh. Go to that. I'm curious. I thought his waist was a lot worse at New York Pro. I'm sorry, at the Olympia, because that's where he put the size on, the extra size. I probably have to go down about 1,000 pages to find it. 1,000. Yeah. See, when you can't see the midsection, look at that. That's Mr. Olympia right there. That is an incredible physique. That's one of the best frontal buys in the sport. If you're not seeing the waist. Don't get me wrong, guys. He's an incredible bodybuilder. Where was this? I don't know what that is. It's him. Well, this was Pittsburgh. This was a real good look. So I don't think his waist would have changed too much between Pittsburgh and New York. Was it a week apart? But you could see it was bigger there. It was bigger there. When he keeps it in, when he keeps it sucked in, it's not bad. But he needs to be conscious of it all the time. Yeah, I'm not talking about that rear double bicep shot from the angle. No, obviously, when you're hitting a rear double bicep to the judges and the audience, you shouldn't have to worry about your belly sticking out. No one should be catching a glimpse of your belly in that shot, in that pose. But here, man, he doesn't need to be any bigger. In fact, I think he could lose just a little bit of overall size. You wouldn't even notice. He's so massive. Would you even notice if he dropped like 5 pounds of muscle? If that was what it took to get the midsection down, the overall impact of the physique would be better. He would look better overall. So I wish he would do something like that. Next sweep insertions are low. Can't fix genetics. Yeah, the quad sweep is what it is. It's not a horrible quad sweep. When you see him with his legs relaxed sometimes when he's not really paying attention, that's when it's more evident. But normally you can't. People with a great, crazy quad sweep, it's mainly genetics. They just got lucky. They got very lucky. Yeah, what was that? Was that this year? It's hard to say because he usually wears red. Looks good there, right? That was a good shot for him. Yeah. But like there, he's so massive and wide up top with the shoulders and the upper back. If that waist could come in a little bit, just a little bit, not much, the overall impact would be stunning. It would look so much more impressive. Just pull up a side by side of them. In the front relaxed double. Who are we talking about? You can't. It's not that easy to pull up side by sides of people, just like randomly. But I don't know who you mean. Who are we talking about? Tell me where I'd find New York Pro 24 and 2025, and I'll go to it if you know where it is. Sweep insertions. Nick the Frog, Nick the Fridge. Wow. Here's the story of Derek almost dying. Yes, I've heard it. I don't think he was almost dying. I think he was severely dehydrated. The difference is the completeness of the athlete's not compared to the 90s from front to back, but that's what Hottie is with slight flaws. See what he does to his lineup. With all due respect, whoever considers Derek Lunsford better than Flex Wheeler smoking cartel drugs twice a day. Yeah, I mean, you're a fan of the old school, Kellyanne, so I knew you wouldn't agree with that statement. Derek is a fantastic bodybuilder in his own right. Flex Wheeler was a better bodybuilder. And I'll say that all day. I'll say that to Derek's face. It's nothing personal. When someone has a better physique than someone else, it's just, that's my opinion. Many people would share that opinion that Flex Wheeler was a better bodybuilder than Derek Lunsford. But if you want to believe Derek's better, that's also your opinion. You're entitled to it. Derek's definitely not better than Flex, even close. Dorian also chuckled when he got us, so Derek would make trouble for him. That's why I love him. Yeah, Derek versus Dorian at his best? No. And this is 30 years ago, so technology has improved. We have all these crazy new supplements. All these peptides these guys are on didn't even exist 30 years ago. They had PEDs. They had plenty of PEDs. They had growth hormone. They had insulin. They had all those things, but this whole new flock of peptides did not exist back then. But I don't see the physiques. I see them. And we say the guys are a lot bigger now. I don't know, guys. If you saw Marcus Rule at his biggest, Nasser El Somebody at his biggest, I don't think you would say that. Paul Dillette, I don't think you'd be saying that. Those guys were massive. They would still be huge today. Sad to see. Yeah, it's a strided glute contest to a lot of people. Talk about animosity, Mr. Potato Head. Yeah, Matt has really got it in for me. I haven't had any interactions with him at all. I haven't commented on him. In fact, I'll do this. I'm going to actually give Matt Tsinkarang of Muscle Discord and Phil Clayhar credit because I believe it was they were partially, at least partially, I'm not going to say fully responsible, but them really making an issue out of the athletes of the Masters Olympia not getting paid. I do believe that played a big role in Jake Wood yesterday saying, okay, I'm going to pay everybody. He's going to get reimbursed from the promoter whenever hopefully eventually. But I do believe Matt and Phil over at Muscle Discord, they did help the athletes finally get their money. Jake Wood's paying everybody, so I'll give him credit. I give credit where it's due. He would probably never give me credit for anything at this point. He's really got it in for me. So looking back, here's the only reason that I can really understand why he's mad is A, I stopped doing his podcast every week. And B is that I backtracked because him and Phil, they really were, they don't want to say they were bullying me, but they were really pushing me hard that Monday after the Masters Olympia to agree with them that Phil should have won. And stupidly, I caved in and agreed. And then I came to my senses shortly after and said, you know what? No, I didn't agree with that. Why did I even? And I backtracked and said, you know what? He looked good, but he's got a big belly that sticks out when he's not paying attention. Dorian was the better of the two. Neither one of them is awesome. Neither one of them would have done any better than, last or second last at the Mr. Olympia. But on that day, I did feel Dorian was better. And so my flip-flopping, I'm a liar, I have no credibility, whatever, dude. I've been doing this since before you were born. Okay, what's up, Ron? What's up? I'm not going to look on YouTube right now, but appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. I mean, it's safe to say that the midsection is an issue with Nick. It's something that he needs to address and take care of. And if he does that, I do see him back in the winning circle again. But if it keeps going this way, if he keeps putting on more muscle and his midsection keeps getting thicker, I think he's just going to keep sliding down in the placing. So if he's hired Chris Tuttle, or if they're going to work together, I should say, Chris is a very smart guy and he has a fine eye for physiques and detail. And I think he would convince Nick that getting that midsection under control is very, very important moving forward. What pose would you give Derek over Dorian? What pose would I give Derek over Dorian? I don't know if I'd give him any, honestly. I don't think I would give him any. Dorian at his best beats Derek in every pose. Derek beats people in the back shots. That's where he beats them. But I don't think he would beat Dorian in the back shots. Flex versus Jack. Romney, or Flex versus Jack versus Keon versus Samson. Oh, boy. Flex 1. Samson 2. Keon 3. Jack 4. I wish Cedric McMillan was still around to compete. Sad, I mean, by the way, whoa. Just the past, since 2020, since COVID, we've probably lost thousands. I mean, obviously, they weren't all big name guys and girls. They weren't all famous. But there was a time where 2, 3, 4 times a week, we were getting notices on Instagram that so-and-so died. It was awful. It slowed down a little bit, but it's still, we've lost way too many. Magic Flex Wheeler, Dorian and Jay Cutler's mindset with advanced nutrition. Yeah. I don't think we ever saw the very best Flex could be. Flex was damn good anyway. See the images on Instagram to make it easier. It says waist looks less controlled. Okay, let me try that. I don't have any new messages. I don't have any new messages on Instagram. Oh, there you go. Click see blurred image. Okay, Dad. Are we seeing this? I know I'm going to have to make that a lot bigger. First, I got to unclick them. Okay. All right, so Dan just sent me that. Thank you. Appreciate it. These two different backgrounds. It's kind of hard to, I mean, to me, it looks like his legs are smaller at the Olympia, which I don't think was the case, right? I doubt it. I don't know, man. To me, he looks blockier. He looks blockier to me at the 2025. Let me cover his head because that bald head it's I know it shouldn't matter. His hairstyle or lack of hair, none of that should matter. And he claims his hair was thinning and he just decided to shave it off, but he looks a lot better with hair. If you have hair, guys, those of you who have lost your hair, and I was losing mine. I had to go to Turkey to get my hairline back. You look at people who have nice full heads of hair, or at least close enough, who shave their hair, and you're like, shave all their hair off. Like, dude, why did you do that? So that was New York. Well, the main issue is he needs to get his. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think it looked rough regardless, wherever it was. Thanks for saying that, Dan. What body weight should Nick? I mean, if he was 275, I'd bring him back down to like 255, 260 at the most. It's not about body weight. It's whatever weight the midsection is a little smaller and tighter. That's all he needs to do. His leg sweep's never going to get any better. That's just genetics. He's got incredible arms. His back poses are excellent. You know, the only thing he really needs to do, should do, in my not so humble opinion, is get that midsection tighter. Bring it in. Bring in the midsection. 255, yeah, I'd say 255. I mean, that's probably what he weighed back in 2021 when he won the Arnold Classic. What did he win that year as well? Did he win the Arnold in 21? Yeah, he did. New York Pro and the Arnold. He won 2 shows that year, and that was his Olympia debut. He was 5th behind Hunter. Hunter was 4th that year, and then he was 3rd the next year. Lesson learned, our technical keeping for anyone to stick to it. Yeah, I made a whole video saying I'll never flip-flop again, but Matt's never going to let me live it down. Whatever, dude. I mean, I'm not engaging with him. He likes to get into these feuds with people because that's, controversy, and it gets all those people's followers. Like he's really got it in for Dave Palumbo now because he knows Dave's got a huge platform. He's got a huge YouTube viewership. And if Dave starts talking about him on his YouTube, it's going to get people to go over to Matt's YouTube, which is Dave is like 350 or 400,000 YouTube subscribers to Matt's 15. I'm almost at 11, which is nothing great either. But when you mess with people who have much bigger followings than yourself and you reference them, if you can get them to talk about you on their channel, that's a win because it's going to get at least a few people, a few hundred or maybe a few thousand to go over and check out your content and see what you got. Best local injection. Jeez. He would only pick one person, Kenson. You can't work with 2 different coaches. I don't know where the announcement was made about him and Tuttle. I don't know if it's on their Instagram or anything yet, or if it's been made public, but that would be I think Chris is a great coach. So whoever he works with, it's a great choice on their part. Kalyan, Miss Potato Head. Part of the sports, they get differentiation for you. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, it's not as relevant to the younger guys. They don't care that, they just want to watch good content, and I get that. I mean, if Mr. Beast had the best advice to how to get way more YouTube views, he just said, make better videos, make better content. It's not about the perfect thumbnail. Yeah, stuff like that's important. Your title, your thumbnail, your description, keywords, this and that, tags. Those things are all important. I'm not saying they're not important, but great content. If you can make better content all the time, that's how you get big numbers on YouTube. Is Prague paying top guys to show up? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. No, I mean, if they were paying top guys to show up, I think they would have gotten a few more. I mean, Martin was going to come anyway. He's a defending champ. Let me put Martin up while we're talking. I don't think we gave Martin enough love on this show today. But defending champ Martin, here he is at the Olympia where he took 5th. Hope anyone makes peace with the Harley Davidson motorcycle pose. I think he's going to stop sticking. I think he already stopped sticking his tongue out. Okay, Prague predictions. Oh, we did that. We didn't really do any predictions, but I'm just going to give you my top 5. I have Samson, Martin, Keon, Krizo, Tim Budishan. That's my top 5. No, you know what? I think one of the Spanish kids. I think Joan Pradelles Martinez. Joan Pradelles Martinez. He could probably beat Krizo on the right surface. I'm sorry, he could be 5th. He could beat Tim. So I will go Samson, Martin, Keon, though I could see Keon possibly beating Martin. I'm not saying Martin's definitely beating Keon. I think either one of them, under the right circumstances, could beat. But I'm going to go Samson, Martin, Keon, Krizo, and Joan Pradelles from Spain. Krizo is going for win. It's really great. It's a good muscle quality. Yeah, we talked about him a little earlier, and he does have fantastic muscle quality, and I like that. Seems like less people are moving up in the higher categories. Sometimes he's moving classic and open. We are seeing a lot more people go to open. From classic, we're seeing classic guys go to open. We're seeing 212 guys to open for sure. I'm going to show you Prague from last year. Yeah, the Prague show, they have a really good lighting. They invest a lot of money into the lighting. They have a very high quality live stream. This is from last year's live stream in Prague. Nick should go to Aceto. Well, it sounds like he's already, if the rumors are true, it looks like he's going to Chris Tuttle. Chris Aceto, he's a great coach, but he can't coach everybody. So not everybody can go to Chris Aceto, nor does Chris want to work with everybody. I think Keon looks way better than Martin, in my opinion. I do, yeah, he's got a better shape, better structure. Structurally, in terms of shape and structure, Keon's damn near perfect. He's damn near perfect. I don't want to be in the chats anymore. Oops. Gotta get that out of there. Let's bring him home. Okay, search. Okay, we're back. Yeah, Krizo taking 3rd over Keon. That's bold, Kenton. That's a bold one. I don't know if Krizo can beat Keon, honestly. Keon's got damn near shape, structure. He's just very, very good. Krizo is good, but that wide waist is going to hurt him because Martin doesn't have a wide waist. He's got a pretty narrow waist. Keon's got a pretty small waist. Keon has a bunch of standout shots. Martin's good overall, but no pose that really stands out. Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to look good in every pose. You're not supposed to have one pose where people go, wow. I would argue Martin's crab most muscular is really, to me, that's his best pose. Let's go back down. Keon winning. Yeah, let's go to Keon winning. Why not that? Show that for a second. Look at how full and round Keon's muscles are. And he's not even flexing there. He's not even flexing at all. Hopes James comes in more. Yeah, I should check James. Is James in the show? Yeah, he is. Come on, Ron, get it together. Get it together. He hasn't been doing many updates. Just curious if he has, if he got anything. Nope. No, nothing. The last posing thing he did was weeks ago. Oh, well, this is one day ago. Okay. All right, so look at the last picture was 4 days ago from James Graham Hollingshead, James G. Yeah, he's looking pretty damn good. I mean, to me, the issue at the show in France was just flat. He was flat to me. The condition was there. I've seen him look bigger and fuller, and you're up against guys like Samson, very full, Martin, very full and round, Keon, very full and round. Krizo's a pretty big, full guy. You got to have your fullness. You can't be missing any one attribute, or you're gonna be in trouble. Rose Prague did pay Chris Bumstead with a handsome amount to show up last year. I don't know if they could afford whatever he would want. I heard that his appearance fee is like a minimum of $100,000. Like he won't do anything for less than $100,000 just to show up somewhere, like an expo or a contest. I've heard that from someone who was trying to get him to do a gym tour. And I don't think Prague's going to give up $100,000 because where do they make the money back? It's the only way they make the money back is pay-per-view buys. And I don't think they would need so many pay-per-view buys to make a profit off of paying Chris Bumstead $100,000 to show up. I think Chris was going to do a post-Olympia show anyway. That one just happened to be timed conveniently for him. So I don't believe that they paid him. I don't think so. If Keon comes like 4 pounds lighter, very big competitor for the L. I mean, I don't think he was off at the Olympia at all. I thought he looked pretty damn good at the Olympia. I know Sean pushed him. Sean definitely did push him for that win. Sean Clarita we're talking about, but how recent are these? 3 days ago. Okay. 3 days. That's James. I mean, we know James has great back shots. 208. I don't think he needs to be any lighter for the Prague show. I think he's fine. Kenton, Keon's midsection becoming less aesthetic as well. Krizo having more condition. Oh, I mean, I don't write it. I don't say anything. I never say, no, that could never happen. So-and-so's never going to beat so-and-so. Unless it was like someone like me competing against Samson. I could never beat Samson. But these guys are all on a similar level to each other. So under the right circumstances, most of them could beat most of the others. Can definitely keep his waist in check. I don't think his weight is what's causing that issue that we see there with the stomach, the abdominals. I think that's just an issue of 212. I think that's just an issue of Keon's genetics where his abs are structured, which is why he pulls a lot of vacuums, and rightfully so. You don't want anyone seeing that big gap. But I don't see it as that big of a problem with him, honestly. I think Keon will do well, but he'll be too small for tall guys. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see him next to a 6-foot Samson, a 6-foot Krizo. Martin's not much taller than Keon. Martin's maybe an inch taller. James Hollings. James goes up and down. I'm not going to write James off. I feel like James is just an average bodybuilder genetics. He's not average. He's well above average, but he's not at the level of these top guys that we talk about. No. Time Prague show start East Coast time. Unfortunately, the judging for Men's Open tomorrow starts at 2 p.m. East Coast time, so 8 p.m. And then I think it's 7:30 p.m. our time. No, I'm sorry, 1:30 p.m. our time on Sunday. They're going to start the finals for all the divisions. But tomorrow, the only pro division that's being judged tomorrow is Men's Open. And you can go to their Instagram, and there'll be links there. EVLS _Prague _Pro _official for all the info. It's EVLS. So they'll have all the info on there. But yeah, it's 2 p.m. and they're selling a pay-per-view. It's not free. What time Prague starts? Keon came in just fine. Just Sean came in crazy and one of his best looks ever. Yeah, Sean looked fantastic. James going through Rami soon in relation to switching coaches. James has been through a lot more coaches than Rami. James has, since I've known of James, which was only since about 2018, I think he's been through about 6 or 8 coaches. So like a coach a year, basically. Someone gets surgery, fix the split people. Someone in the comments before or the chat, they had a whole strategy on how it could be done. I don't know if it's accurate. I don't always take everything you guys say in the chat as absolute fact, because sometimes people are either bullshitting me or they're misinformed or whatever. But some guy did have a whole protocol of how it could be fixed. He needs to contact Keon. Can Akim ever get back in top 10? Oh, yeah. I mean, his physique still looks great. There's nothing wrong with it. Did he make top 15 this year? I don't think he did he? I'm going to put my Olympia places. Yeah, I think he was he out of the top 15? I don't know what I did with my places. Yeah, I don't think he was in the top 15 this time. I wouldn't write him off. So Roman Fritz mentioned a podcast using a weightlifting belt. So you're saying using the belt caused the midsection to look worse. Some people do believe that because you're pushing out against the belt. Then other people will tell you a waist trainer, which is just like a super tight belt, really sucks everything in. I think that just makes you more conscious of keeping your midsection sucked in. I don't believe a waist trainer actually reduces the size of your midsection. How is it doing that? Just physiologically. It's not changing your bones, your ribs or whatever, that they are what they are. Your internal organs, it's not making them any smaller by squashing them in. So I don't know. The science, Sean should have beaten Regan at that last show. I agree. I agree with that. So muscle, if you lose the muscle, we'd also lose the gap. Well, you don't want to lose your abdominal muscles. Pay-per-view, €15. That's not bad. So that's I think that's less than 20 US. That's not bad. I'm going to, unfortunately, probably miss the whole damn thing. I'm training. I have a private training client who pays me well. So I'm not missing that. And then I'm going to the New England Championships. Do I have that on mine? I'll put that up. I believe I posted it. Come on, Ron. What? How many runs are there, for God's sake? What? I just want to show the Cutler. Didn't I put it up? I thought I put it up. I hope Jay put it up. Let's see, NPC Northeast. A little plug for the show. It's happening tomorrow here in Boston. Well, where's your flyers, guys? Really? Really? No flyer? Huh. Wow. What about Jay? It's your show, Jay. Please tell me, Jay, you have your own show up on your Instagram. Well, that's not the contest flyer, but it does show you can meet him there. Where's the contest flyer? Huh. Anyway, the New England Championships. Jay puts on 2 shows a year here in Boston. In the springtime, usually late April, early May, he puts on the Jay Cutler Classic, and the fall show, which is usually late October or very early November. That's the New England Championships. I'll be going to the finals with my son, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any coverage of the Prague show until Sunday, which it bothers me because it's a big show and I want to cover it, but I'm not missing that training client. He pays me well. He's a good dude, and it's like an hour drive away, and I don't want to miss that because I don't get to see Jay that often. Patrick Moore career has been a letdown. I think he's still way too heavy for Classic. What exercise worked the best for you that size? Your arms? Probably asking the wrong guy because my arms they've never grown. I mean, the basics work if you use enough weight to challenge yourself, but still feel the muscle and get a good pump. Feel the muscle working. My biceps did improve more once I started using a little less weight and going for a better squeeze of the muscle, really focusing on getting good stretch on every rep on bicep, any kind of bicep curl. But really, it does come down to genetics. I mean, if you're going to have huge legs, training your legs hard, whatever way you train them is going to give you big legs. If you're going to have big arms, any type of hard training is going to give you big arms. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but if you have bad genetics for arms, like my tricep genetics were just awful, they still are. There was nothing that was ever going to give me huge Phil Heath or Rolly Winkler or Kevin Leverone triceps. There was nothing in the world, not even injections. The late Matt Porter, God bless his soul, who did admit to a lot of site injecting in his arms, He said, Ron, even your arms probably, there's not enough synthol in the world that could give you big arms. I'm like, damn it. Explain how it happens on a podcast recap. The Olympics called Big Zone Podcast in German, but you can get the English. Oh, as far as the Roman Fritz and how a weight belt makes your gut bigger. Will you beat the NPC Mid-American Winter Classic? I can say definitely not because I've never even heard of that show. We'll be competing. Mike Stonefeld will guest posing Corm and take his height. I won't be at that show, but I wish you the very best of luck. Winter Classic, so that must be coming up in a month or two, right? Don't know. Cool. All right, guys, I've been going for a long time. Brazil apparently is a bodybuilding clinic for all divisions. Yeah, Brazil has been they had 3 Olympia champions this year. They had Wellness, that woman Eduarda, don't know her last name off the top of my head. They had Ramondino in Classic, and they had Natalia Coelho, Women's Physique. Top 5 Arnold picks. We don't even know who's in the Arnold. Talk to me in a month, and like that list will come out by mid-December. We'll know exactly who's doing the Arnold, and then I'll be making all kinds of picks and predictions with other people. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bid you adieu until Sunday, maybe tomorrow. I'm sure I'll do some kind of coverage on Prague on Sunday, but I don't know about tomorrow yet. We'll see. I'll see if I have time. I really want to, but I do appreciate you guys hanging out and talking to me. Again, info about the Prague show is there. There's a link there to the website, which has the info for the pay-per-view and all that. So EVLS.Prague.pro. Even if you just put Prague Pro into the search in Instagram, it would show up, or into your search engine, Chrome or Safari or whatever you use at home. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it very much. And if I don't talk to you, if you don't see me until next week, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.